I recently got to interview on the podcast Katie Cubano and Beth Pandolfo, who wrote Create Your Own Masterclass. Highly recommend. Favorite book of the year in the education space. Really excited about it. Listen to the episode. Anyways, in their book, they actually have a free reproducible that they link as the freebie for that podcast episode. I'm going to link the one we're going to go through today in the description below. Basically, what we're doing here is we are taking a look at a kind of graphic organizer worksheet almost to think about who makes decisions about particular issues in your school and having a really clear plan for decision making so that we have transparency, no one is confused, and we can really share the decision making power with stakeholders that are really important for making decisions in that moment and in that topic. This is actually published by Katie Cubano and Mark Weiss, and so this is adapted with permission for the book Create Your Masterclass. So with that, let's get into the chart for deciding who decides. So basically, they talk about having a almost continuum of decided by the teacher, decided by the student. And so thinking about decision fatigue, which is the chapter that this reproducible was in within the book, thinking about the fact that we as educators, individual teachers as well, make so many decisions that it actually can create inequity. We want to think about when can we let the students decide, when does it make sense for individual teachers to decide, and when can we really make it co-determined. It's a shared decision-making process. So they go through a bunch of things and they categorize them by process. Things like community agreements or norms, the environment, like literally how is the classroom laid out, who's choosing groups, who provides feedback, who decides when a scaffold is needed. If you've listened to this YouTube channel long enough and listened to my podcast, you know that I will almost always say that this is a shared or student-led decision. But I think that's the point in this, right? Is that teachers don't need to be making all of these, yet that's often what happens. Content choices. Who selects the content or topic that they're working on, right? Texts and materials, content delivery. So this one is a little more nuanced. Interesting. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer for any of this. And again, I think that's part of this is you individually want you as a school leader, but also your individual teachers to make these decisions for themselves, right? And thinking about these, right, the text and materials, to ask students to select all of those, that puts a very large responsibility on them. That's probably not their responsibility, but can they inform it? Can it be an option? Yeah, totally, right? So I think this is going to generate some really nuanced conversations if you did this at a staff meeting, for example. And product choices. So the success criteria, the formats, the focus, like the topic or the content, super fascinating to have conversations about curriculum development and assessments in this capacity, using this form as prompts for discussion. Oh, so cool. Whether it is whole staff or team meetings, I think there's a big potential here for great conversation. So I think there's a lot of value here as a leader thinking about putting on your instructional leadership hat and talking to teachers about doing this in their individual classrooms. I will also link, in addition to what we just reviewed, a freebie in the description of this video that's actually talking about setting up shared leadership structures for the school. And so if you are thinking of that leader level, how do we do this? Maybe in partnership with teachers, you're thinking, right? Admin teacher partnerships, but also student leadership and really making policy decisions and things for the school. If that's the hat you're really having on right now, feel free to go grab that similar idea and really start thinking about and generating those prompts for yourself around the various issues that come up.